What up, bitches, and welcome to episode 4 of the FBG's podcast. Woohoo! As always, thank you so much for joining me on the couch today. I can't believe that we're on our 4th episode. If you've been watching from the start, slay, I love you so much. You have no idea how happy it makes me. Oh my goodness. So, I'm on semester break at the moment. It's 2 weeks long. And I went on a bender at the start. I went out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But since then, I have been locking in. Oh my goodness, you'd think that I could have a break. But no, fifth year law is so hard. You'd think that it wouldn't be that difficult after going through all the compulsory papers, being in there for 5 years. But no, it is actually still really, really difficult. Oh my goodness. But in saying that, what I wanted to talk about today on today's episode was my first year law horror stories. I kind of got started on social media by documenting my law school journey and sharing tips and tricks. It's a major part of my life, even though I no longer want to be a lawyer, which is a whole other topic that I definitely can talk about. But when I first started to do the degree, I thought I wanted to do it. But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys some of the more so downs of my first year experience because it was interesting to say the least. So, I moved up to Auckland for uni in 2021 and I moved into Waiparuru Hall, which is like the biggest uni hall in New Zealand. I'm sure plenty of you guys know it. And I started my law and commerce journey at UOA. I I got the infamous like tutoring that you pay way too much money for that's like talked about on Reddit because I was really scared that I wasn't going to get in and I didn't think that I was really smart because I'm pretty sure I could be like kind of wrong, but I'm pretty sure that like 1,500 students start off in law school and then 400, 450 get into second year. So I think that's like 20%. I could just be lying, but it's something along the lines of that get in. And I was really nervous because I decided I want to be a lawyer when I was 12 and my parents have always encouraged me to do it. So I knew that I needed to get in. It was kind of like a tunnel vision goal that I had to get into law school. I wish that I didn't. But me and Amy say to each other all the time in our 5th year, why did we do a law degree? I wish we never got into law. No, I'm grateful regardless, of course, and I'm so glad that I've stuck it out. But yeah, I was really nervous that I wouldn't get in. So I got this like really expensive tutoring package for the whole year. And I actually learnt the first semester of the law degree in summer between high school and uni. But yeah, I was really, really nervous that I wouldn't get in, got the tutoring, was studying so much. Like, I do all the readings twice. I'd be studying for like so many hours because I was doing commerce as well. And the transition from high school to uni is crazy. I want to go and tell every single high school student that the content that you learn is so ridiculous. I don't know if it was my shitty public high school, but what we learned, for example, in 1 week of my economics class, in uni, we learn in an entire year in high school. And that is like one little example of the vast hugeness of the information. That's just 1 week of one class, and I'm doing 4 other papers, including law. But anyways, so in first year law, first semester law, you have an essay and an exam. The essay, I think, is like 30%, and the exam was 70%. So we all got our essay question, everyone in the cohort. And since I was getting this really expensive tutoring, I wasn't like getting them to do it for me, but I got quite a lot of guidance on my essay. I worked so hard in it. And then this is one of the first horror stories. We were, yeah, all of us law students were like really stressed about it. We finally handed it in, and then they released the grades to us in the law lecture, and I thought that I slayed. I thought I did really, really well. I had all these tutors telling me that it's fine, it's all good. I've done all the readings, I've worked really, really goddamn hard on it. And then I pull up my phone, I refresh, and I see 67 out of 100. And then I kind of start hyperventilating, and everyone around me is going, oh, I got 80, I got 90, I got 85. And then I was like, what the fuck? And then I picked up all my shit. I ran out of the lecture. I called my dad and I was like scream crying. I got back to halls and I'm pretty sure I threw up. I felt so, so awful. And 67 out of 100 isn't a bad grade at all, but when you need like an A minus to get into law, it was the biggest jag because I already thought that I wasn't good enough. And it made me feel so, so, so awful for like 2 weeks. I could barely get out of bed. It was ridiculous. I was so sad, and especially because I had all this confirmation that it was fine, but apparently not. And the feedback that I got wasn't that helpful either, but we live and we learn. Whenever people tell me about like them getting a bad grade or just stuff like that, I always like to remind them that I got a 67, or it might even been a 65. I got like a 60 something on the first Law 121 essay. Now I'm in my 5th year getting like top 15% in all my classes. So if you are a first year law student, because I know that you guys have your essay at the moment, if you get a low grade, all hope is not lost. Don't worry about it. So that was the essay. And then we come to the exam. Since I had a 67 in that essay, I knew I needed to do really well on the exam. As some of you may know, I was in a toxic 3-year-long relationship with a man that is quite literally insane. I think I had like a 5-part Who the Fuck Did I Date series on TikTok. I might talk about it on here, but I don't want the whole thing to be about men, but this this man was crazy. So 2 weeks, I don't even know how to start this. 2 weeks before that law exam, I was in Hamilton at a debating tournament with the UOA debating club. I was having a really great time. And then I come back home to halls, and my ex is like, I need to come over and tell you something. And he told me that he cheated on me. He literally said, he told me that he cheated on me. 2 weeks before my law exam, my first law exam. It was absolutely out the gate, and I don't want to get into too much of that because that's not the purpose of today's episode, but that was wild, finding out that your 3-year-long relationship had cheated on you 2 weeks before your first law exam. And then the next day, I went to my friend's house and I dyed my hair half pink, half black. And I don't want to necessarily call it a manic episode, but it might as well have been. I went crazy. And the thing that was really annoying, and I don't want to like get into this too much, but just like quick trigger warning. Within those 2 weeks, my ex, while I was trying to study, my ex was telling me how he wanted to go himself. At 5 a.m. I got a call from one of his friends because he was trying to jump off a building. Just crazy shit like that all the time. Me trying to make sure that this man is like going to stay alive while processing the fact that he cheated on me while trying to study for my first ever law exam, while going manic and crazy, dyeing my hair 2 different colours. It was a journey. Absolutely out the gate. I did my law exam. I did fine. I got a B plus overall in that first year course. But B plus isn't going to cut it. I needed to get even better grades for semester 2 to get that like A minus. Because if you get an A minus out of all your papers, you're kind of guaranteed entry because it's like in between a B plus and an A minus GPA or something. So then we moved to semester 2. In 2021, in the middle of the year, we were all uplifted from halls and sent back home because COVID did like its second wave. And my parents were renovating their house. I didn't have a room. I didn't have a bed. My dad, well, all my family was at home, but my dad was banging. He's like a house renovator, house developer. So he was tearing down walls, banging, painting, the whole works. And I had to come home, sleep on the floor, and suss out the rest of my uni year. And that was such a mission, trying to study on my laptop, on the ground, or at our dining table was like some outdoor, like hard furniture. And me and Amy, we would just FaceTime every day and go over the content. and study because we didn't have ChatGPT. And I'm not saying I use it. I'm not saying I use it at all. But we didn't have any form of AI. Like, and we were at home getting these ridiculously difficult assignments that don't make any sense, especially if you're at UOA and you do Law 141. Like, what the heck is that shit? Law 131 was a little bit easier. But I found that so difficult trying to study while the fucking house is like being torn down and re-brought up. But nonetheless, I studied like all day, every day. I went through like 5 Vs. At this point, I started to develop another ED, which you'd know if you watched last week's episode. I talked about how in 2021 I moved back home with COVID, and my ED got really bad. So I was dealing with that as well. Oh, it was just a massive shit show. However, all my hard work paid off, and I remember sitting on a beach because it was summer at this point, like November, and I got my grades back, and then I realized that I was in fact a law student. Woohoo! I made it into second year law. Do I wish that I did? Yes, I do wish that I did. But it was absolutely such a mission trying to get in with like self-confidence issues, ex issues, living issues. But we made it in the end. So if you struggle with first year law, you're not alone. What I was told while I was doing first year is that some people have parents that are lawyers, that are judges, that are partners, that have all these resources and all this access to information, and you really just can't compare yourself to them. And the whole thing about grades at Auckland Uni is it is the most inconsistent, entirely not objective thing. When you're doing short essays about a problem question, and that kind of just means that you get given a set of facts and you advise the client on the law, and law is just legislation from Parliament and what previous judges have decided so cases. So when you're answering like a 1,000 word problem question, you say, pretty much most people say close to the same thing in a different font. So I'd do my answer and I'd hypothetically have a look at my friends after they've submitted, and it would be the exact same thing, just like different way of writing, different sentence structures. And one of us would get a 90 and the other would get a 60. And that happens all the time. It is ridiculous, and it's really annoying when it comes to first year law when your grades mean everything, and it sucks that they do. But the one thing that's good about getting into second year is that afterwards you don't need to worry about getting your grades. You can get a C- and everything and still come out with the same degree as anyone else. Yeah, if you're struggling with first year law, guys, I'm going to hit, so I'm going to hit 10K on TikTok soon, and when you hit 10K, you can put all your videos into folders, and I'm only excited, of course I'm very excited about it, but I'm the most excited that I can put all my law videos into one folder for all you guys to watch, because I see everyone like going down like months and months of videos and favoriting all the specific law ones, and I don't talk about it as much anymore, but I can and I will, but I just study like all goddamn day because fifth year law is no goddamn joke. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah, law has been a massive part of who I am, but not on the weekends, apparently. But yeah, those were some of my first year law school horror stories. There are a whole bunch more from the rest of my law years, but that would be way too long of an episode. I can't believe that I've been doing this for 5 years. That is actually crazy, but the law degree has made me, the law has made me like really smart. I can tackle any problem. My brain works in a myriad of conflicting, evaluative, critical, analytical ways, and it balances competing considerations. It understands 200,000 words of information in the span of like 2 weeks, and blah, 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 blah. So I am happy that I got into first year law, and all those moments were definitely character building. And if you knew me with my half pink and half black hair, I apologize. Slay! I hope you guys like this week's episode. I will be posting next week on Friday, obviously, because that's the dates that I do my pod. Yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining. I hope you found this entertaining because I get so nervous with doing the pod that no one's going to like it and people are going to listen to it and be like, oh, that was kind of boring. But I'm trying my best. And yeah, I hope you like it. Slay. I love you guys. Bye-bye.